Here I am with our trusty Equibase chart caller, Keith Fustel, and we are back at the lovely Laurel Park after our
Yes.
Pimlico, our Hi-Ho Pimlico meet, which, of course, we all had a blast at.
We did. We had a great time there. Hopefully everybody made some money and got a piece of that pick six mandatory payout
Yes.
on our final day. So, yeah, good to be back and just look down at the turf course, look good, bounce back, given a little bit of a break. So we've got some good challenging races ahead of us for this weekend. And couldn't ask for better weather for today's card.
You mentioned the turf course. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got going on outside. Of course, the track is fast and the turf is firm. Nice and green there on the lovely Laurel lawn.
70 degrees, maybe mid-70s when it's all said and done today. Get tied on because we've got some shots as well. I don't have any grandiose picks, that are really going to maybe, if they connect, going to light up the tote board. But I think we can, shuck and jive, a little jab here and there, and put together some winners and make us some money.
All right, let's get right to that then. Let's talk about that early pick 5. The first leg of it is a claiming 20,000 on the turf, going 2 turns for the girls 3 and up, which have never won 2. Scratch in the coupled entry 1A at first sight. The 7, Dame Catherine. The 11, Satisfied. You and I still land on the technically the 1 horse, but this one's breaking out of the 7 in Major Houlihan for Hugh McMahon. Victor Carrasco takes the call here.
Yeah, a little shot here. I mean, really not a lot of dependable turf form in this 2 in life opener on the grass, but Major Houlihan, this horse has come back okay form, was keyed up a little bit right off the break. I thought the race, a couple races back on the dirt, was good. When she took the rating, settled, and made a little bit of a run, going longer. I think, transitioning over here to the turf by Army Mule, 15, 16% with the turf routers, bottom side out of a mare who was fairly competitive. 8 for 19 in the money with a win, and the Polish numbers in that second dam leads me to believe this they tried to get on it last time, but this one might go ahead and take to the turf. I think you've got maybe Latash and Believe in Freedom, the only ones that have won on the turf.
Right.
But I think this new face and maybe even the 8 Mamas Lena, we'll talk about that one. But I think Major Houlihan can get good position to flow. She'll like it today, stalking pounds.
No, I see that as well. Army Mule, while 24% on a wet dirt, is 15% right now with his first-time turf start. 8 for 23. Let's talk about Latesh, who you have in your exacta. Let's take a roll back at that win, that maiden breaking score back in February at Tampa for Ricky Silliman. Forest Boys today.
Yeah, we're going back a ways here, February 23. And this was, this mare, or this filly, I should say, she's run okay going sprint to route in the past. And so I think got that useful tune-up last time out, going short. Belated action at 5 in the sprint, 5.5. I think today we'll get early position. Forest Boys does an excellent job of rating these horses on the lawn, and expect her. I think if she's going to run her best race, she's going to be on or near the lead.
No, I can definitely see that as well. Going for a seamless trip here, but let's get to Let's get to Mama's Lino for Damon Deal DeVico. Horacio Caramanos gets the call.
Yeah, Mama's Lino, Uncle Lino. I've got a little number here on that one on the turf. 15% with the turf routers, so not that bad. You're kind of pretty right, equivalent to Army Mule. Decent little move last time under, fought a little bit of restraint, was firmly rated early, got that move when it angled out, and just kind of grinded. Didn't quite kick on, but she's got the build. She looks like a horse that's going to be able to handle the 2 turns. Bottom side turf, best mom ever. Not really, though. You go further down. The second dam was an allowance winner on the turf, multiple races going long, performed well. I think topped out in the mid-70s, mid to high 70s. So why not? This combination, well, I know Damon right here with us the other day almost pulled it off with Easter Sunday Girl on the turf.
1689 for Keith Fusel there in race number 1. We'll see if Damon Deal DeVico can deliver again here on the turf this time. But let's go to your early pick for Keith. Let's take a look at that $20 ticket. I love an all. I love a single, and you have both for me.
Yeah, race 2, we have a scratch of the 3, Silent Roar, which leaves us with 5 runners. And Super Needy going to be awfully short price. I guess I can come up with a little reason for everybody else. So I can't thoroughly trust the short ones. I'm going to go everybody. 2 deep in race number 3 with the 6 and the 8, Charmed and Zip Line to Heaven. We'll talk about those 2 coming off of breaks. Single, race 4. Rad Paisley's race to lose on the front end. If he breaks, I think he's gone. Race 5, 1, 2, 5, and 9. I'll get a little spread there. That maiden claim in the fillies and mares going 5.5.
Oh, why not?
On the turf, $20 for that early pick 4 ticket as we get back here to Laurel.
I like that sequence, Keith. This, as you mentioned, the race is a little bit trickier once you take it, kind of dig into it and get a second look at it. So, $20 ticket. I like that investment here for this early pick 4. It starts in this maiden claiming 12.5, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt. Scratch in the 3, Silent Roar. You and I both have Super Needy on the outside for Tim Salzman. Jamie Rodriguez coming down from that maiden 30 level.
Yeah, drops in class here. And those 5/8 off the turf races at Pimlico, things get frantic real early. And if you're not tied on, you can just, pack it in. This one stayed around. Kind of an even effort. He looks like a need to lead type. I think he's going to get it against this group. So it's all systems go from the outside for Super Needy dropping down. Ran pretty good. 41 buyer, I think, can get this done. 3 races back against a pretty quick horse in Restless. Legit closer, it looks like, at least proven, is Right Quick. This horse off of a lengthy layoff got far behind on a track to kind of favor speed, as Delaware does a lot. I thought this horse ran very well the final 1/8 of a mile and threw the gallop out. So set up nicely to get the extra 16th of a mile here to close in for trainer Robin Graham. Horacio Caramanos to ride number 4, Right Quick. Interesting firster. You've got this one in the mix. Fierce competition. The thing that leaps off the page there is the sire. Competitive edge, 21% with the first-time starters. Mare and the whole family, you're looking not a whole lot. But you know what? I'm going to trust. This horse got a little prep down at the Ellery Trials down in beautiful Ellery, South Carolina, as Jerry Romans and Gory and Hammy, we've seen this work time and time again.
Yes.
A little experience there for fierce competition. I'm not going to leave that one out. We'll come down off of that morning line due to the scratch.
No, there we go. 6-4-1-5 for Keith Fusel there in race number 2 to start his early pick 4. Race number 3, his second leg, is going to be a starter optional 12.5, going 5.5 on the turf. Scratch in the 10, Aristocratic. Scratch in the 12, Prince Pear, who ran well last weekend. You and I both go with the number 8, and this is going to be Charmed for Graham Patrick Noosh, Forest Boyce. We're going to take a look at that effort last time in 2023.
Yeah, this was the first time off the claim, given a couple months break from September to November, and I thought at the 6 furlong distance ran very, very well. Was hung out though 4 deep into the turn. That's not easy to do. This horse stretched out that extra 16th of a mile. But the key, Boss is a pal. We saw how the form of this one is just held up under trainer Suzanne Stefanius. Got another win the other day at Pimlico with that inside-out trip. I think he's, 3 for 3 now, Boss is a pal, with the blinkers off. But look at that. Hung out wide every step of the way, makes a little move into it. Here come the mid-stretch. 4th when it's all said and done, only beating a length and change. But it's the horses that he's run against. Zipline to Heaven, same thing out of that race as well. The Valiant Vinny right there second. So you've got 2 horses off a similar break. 2 trainers that have done very well with their turf runners off of this type of break. You've got to, it's very tough for me to separate the 6 and the 8. Zipline to Heaven gets Ruiz, who's riding extremely well. Here's your little stat, though, on Charmed and trainer Patrick Noosh. We talked about the layoffs. Last 3 years on the turf, 4 for 11, 36%, 7 for 11 in the money. 276 is your ROI. There's some definite speed in here, but I don't think Charmed will be too far back.
No, absolutely. And you talk about, just touched on how Ruiz is riding. Zipline to Heaven also within that field. Number 11 on the outside, Sue Loves Barbados. Gina Berry, Fergal Lynch team up together to put this one back on the turf.
Yeah, this one's fine on the turf. I like this move coming back. Has the ability to drop in, will rate off of the pace, and here I believe, and make a good run top of the stretch home. You get some value there at 15-1 morning line. Yeah, the race is probably going to go through the 3. Psychedelic Shack, Loaded Sniper, also part of that pace. They get involved. I look for the 6 and 8 to stalk and pounce. Lurking, Sue Loves Barbados. Lurking is the 7, freestanding.
Absolutely. I had that one underneath on my picks. Good thing you did, Keith, as you go 8, 6, 11, 7 in race number 3. Race number 4 starts that Rainbow Pick 6. We start with a brand new slate, and I give you a $24 ticket. I single right away on Rad Paisley here in race number 4. I do go wide in race number 6, even though that is on the dirt. That's a nice restricted allowance on the going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt. I think very, very competitive. You just, with the 7 Sparkle Sprinkle, first off the layoff, you don't know, she's just a touch of a quirky filly, so you can't completely count her out, which is why I have her in my picks. And then race number 8, our feature race of the day, also restricted allowance for the boys. I go 3 deep there. We'll have 2 videos on that one. A $24 ticket that I will certainly dive into a little bit more detail in the afternoon show. And it does start off in race number 4 in the starter optional 12-5, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Keith, you and I both have the number 2, my single, Rod Paisley, back in the barn of Kieran McGee, Jamie Rodriguez.
Yeah, Kieran, the last 45 days, rallies 28%, good ROI. The barn just keeps rolling along. Rad Paisley last time had a little bobble at the break, first back in the barn, recovers. We're going to watch this. Yeah, they're like just a little subtle bobble coming out of the break, recovers and is able to outrun. I think he's got the cheek pieces on here as well, the 2, Rad Paisley. He's able to outrun Aristocratic. Very quick horse, and he does it pretty easily. Well within himself, rates around the turn, and he's just going to dig in and hold sway through that final 1/8 of a mile. He uses his speed to his advantage today. Catches a field when you really break it down. Maybe the Valley Shade will send from the inside, but other than that, I don't see anybody as quick. So if he breaks cleanly, he brings a finish as he nurses around the turn. Rad Paisley going to be a very, very short price. Hence, I'm looking in the exacta. If we can complete this exacta with a good number, Callie, let's look at the 6, That's Mr. Mo, and the 4, Order of the Kettle. That's Mr. Mo, a drop. Excuse last time out against a much better field. He goes second time gelding, though. It's an angle we've used. It's a profitable one we've been hitting with of late. Go back on the page. He's got some decent runs from just off the pace at 7. We've got to have a couple chasers in here. That's Mr. Mo or Order of the Kettle to come rallying from off the pace. I'm going to dismiss the last 2 for Order of the Kettle. Steps low, and then a pinch stumble break 2 races back. This horse has run against the right kind, beat a good group 3 races back. He can make a move into it.
2, 6, 4, 5 for Keith Fusel there in race number 4, the start 2. That Rainbow pick 6. Let's go to the late pick 5. That starts in race number 5 at 5.5 on the turf for the 3, 4, and 5 fillies and mares in this. Maiden claiming 20,000. You and I both go with Celtic Bond. Of course, this is in the barn of Linda Albert. Victor Carrasco gets the call. Wonderful effort coming just from a little bit of spacing campaign last time out.
Yeah, some good percentages here working for Linda Albert. Second off of this type of break, 30%. Smaller samples, turf sprints, 24%. We've got a runner here. She's going to make her first go of it on the lawn. She's bred to handle it. My Hangover Kid, another one pretty good, 15, 16% with the turf sprinters. Bottom side, you look at the family. This one's full of Pounding Music.
Yes.
Pounding Music has made a lot of money on the turf. It's been a little bit better going longer, but this filly here shows a turn of foot, second off the break, a little bit of a bad actor last time. I think she's into this race early and stays around. I think she's going to take to the turf. This too, La Bafana comes back. Bafana comes back with Ruiz, Serenago, coming back to the 1 turn, coming back to the sprint, 2 races back. The 2-turn race at 7.5. No, slow pace, wide trip, no ability, no chance to kick in against that group. Inside out trip from off the pace with Ruiz. Also going to use the 1 banana split.
Why not? 9-2-1-5 for Keith Fusel there in race number 5. We will be right back after this commercial break for the rest of Friday's card.
Whether you're new to the world of horse racing or a seasoned professional, we have something for everyone here at the National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame. From fine art to legendary artifacts, our mission is to preserve and promote the history of thoroughbred racing in America and honor the sport's most accomplished participants. Open year-round and located on Union Avenue, right across from Saratoga Racecourse, adding to the rich history surrounding the oldest racetrack in America. Visit racingmuseum.org.
Of course, the Racing Museum up in Saratoga, where the Belmont will be held. But let's get back to our card. Race number 6 is that late pick 4 and the Jackpot Super High 5 in this restricted allowance for the girls, 3/4 of a mile. I think it's very competitive here. We have a scratch in the number 3, Honor the Truth. Keith, you have the number 1 and 2 set. Mikey Gorham, Raul Mena. We actually have a double duty video here. It also includes number 6, Golden Charm, on the outside.
Yeah, we're going to go back to the race on the 29th of March, and Golden Charm's had a couple races since, but keying up on this particular race, very sharp to a set, dealing with some other speeds, is able to outrun a pretty quick group. I just like the form. She got on a little bit of a roll here for December, February into March. Her last race before the layoff, not so good, but I think a little freshening is going to be just what the doctor ordered. I think right to the front from the inside. She's outrun some faster horses in the past. Even when I've looked at her races, I'm thinking, well, she's going to get you. No, she doesn't. She's going to have to deal with a fresh mare with Sparkle Sprinkle for Jerry Robb, who's got a couple good works coming into this, leading in with a 3/4 work, three works back. This one could be tough. If she's sharp on the engine, she can definitely pressure to a set. Tough for me to separate these speeds. A slight edge to the one, and if things get really kind of contested up front, Golden Charm, I think, turning back. Here's another live runner for Linda Albert. Is going to be very, very tough. You saw that race, making that little run before flattening out. Golden Charm, turning back in distance, is going to bring a big run here, saving ground and getting a chance, because those other two, they're going to run away from her early. I think she's going to settle and bring a finish.
No, interesting race that we have here. Very competitive, I think. The 7, she's very quirky. I've seen her in the paddock just kind of lose it a little bit. So for me, it's all about if she can keep it together. Watch this one. This is one to watch in the post parade, Keith.
Okay.
Watch her in the post parade, and if things look good, then by all means, sail your money in that direction for sure. Jerry Robb, Xavier Perez teaming up well together as per usual. 1-6-4-7 for Keith Fustel.
Society Ball. You've got. I could definitely make a case for her. She's going to catch older here for the first time, but obviously you see CC Royal on the page. You've got to respect that effort. She came back to win, taking some pressure at a mile. Another one. I don't think she's quite as quick as a couple of these other fillies early, but the ability turning back in distance, I think she's got to finish in store for her, for Lacey Gaudet.
Why not? Absolutely. 1-6-4-7 as mentioned for Keith Fustel. Let's go to race number 7. It's a maiden special weight going a mile on the turf for the girls. 3 to 5 scratches in the 1, the 4, 5, and 13. Interesting scratches for me, Keith. But you end up landing on the number 9, Mexican Sugar for Ed Coletti Jr. Alicia Ruiz. Let's go ahead and take a look back at the 21st of April back here at Laurel Park Rough Trip.
Yeah, and this is a rider that I've been watching up there, and he's got some ability, no doubt about it, watching some of those Parks races during the week. This one here, Mexican Sugar, got great position early. Now, a little slower flow up top, had to stall and wait there at the quarter pole, and again, coming here through past the 3/16 pole to mid-stretch, a little hesitant, maybe just didn't quite have the run to go through that spot, but regroups, finishes up willingly. I think coming right back here, big scratch in the 1. Akela was going to take a lot of money. She's got, I don't see her terribly far out of it by the 3/8 pole when you're breaking down the field. Hollywood Land now may go ahead and go. It'll be interesting with Forrest to see what goes for that one. Even I think Diamonds Cabaret is another one, first time Gina Perry, who's got some definite turf in this family, could stretch it a long way up top. But I'm looking for Mexican Sugar. 12 to 1 morning line, a couple scratches is going to bring that price down. But I think this one's sneakily improving here for the Eddie Coletti barn.
Pinstripe Pizzo for Horacio de Paz, Carlos Lopez with the blinkers off, coming down from those New York races. Just first off the layoff for Horacio de Paz.
Yeah, no real speed for this filly. I think she's going to want to hope she gets a little bit more pace up front. I don't know if it's going to be there, but just off glancing at the buyer figures, she certainly fits this group. So, yeah, and you're looking at Motion, who has not really had success with the debut runners going the route of ground. You're looking at both of these well-bred firsters. One of these two, you would think, or maybe even both, should make an impression. I lean towards the 3 Smooching by Mendelssohn. Mare was 4 for 23 on the turf. To tell maybe Ruiz. They've teamed up and done great over the last couple years. The other one, the 2-horse, Hit the Road Brat by Quality Road. The mare was really, really good. I think topped at a 102, just missing in a grade 1. So 9-8 virtual out of that same race. Mexican Sugar, similar running styles, yes, for Kerry Bryan. I'll throw that in the mix. 9-8-3-12. This tricky race 7. It's certainly a spread race for those multi-race wagers.
Absolutely, I agree there, Keith. 9-8-3-12 for Keith Fustel there in race number 7. Race number 8 is going to be another restricted allowance here. 6 furlongs on the dirt. This time for the boys, 3 and up. You have the number 1 on top. And let's talk and look at one-way traffic from that effort last time out at Laurel on the 28th of April.
Yeah, 16 to 1 and got the lead opened up, and you're thinking it's all said and done here, going to pack it in past 3/16 pole. No, meets the challenge to a good horse and play harder and just digs in very gamely, just to miss. He's back, given a little bit of a break here. I think, man, Nobody's as quick as him early. I think he's going to have to separate. I don't want to see him hounded, but I think he can stretch his field a long, long way. Your top selection, the 4 Mine Run, going to get a slew of play here, 8-5 morning line. Interesting move. We'll watch this one's last race. Off of avoided claim at Colonial in August of 23, returned, protected with the waiver, and gets it done. Just dominates the field. Caught 4 wide, into the turn in between horses, separates mid-stretch. This horse is just in hand, confidently handled around the turn by Angel Cruz, who's back today, is going to put away that other pace rival, turning for home, and it's over. Down inside, just responds here when asked. Kicks away while ridden out to the wire. So interesting move. You don't see this barn jump horses up a lot from claiming to allowance here in Maryland. 2 for 12 with that angle off the last 3 years. But this one got it done in a big sort of way. Number works. But I tell you what, it's a little bit better fielding facing today, and especially a little quicker horse with one-way traffic.
Yeah, I think they were pleasantly surprised with how it went last time out, and they said, hey, let's try and get this horse back into positive motions. Let's talk about Bandcamp for Annette Eubanks, Annette Eubanks had a great weekend last weekend at Pimlico. Tori Alba gets the call on this one in lieu of Angel Cruz, but this one also stepping up, but I think it's worth it.
Absolutely. Won 3 of his last 4, turning back in distance. I think he's fine sprinting. He can make that run. 2-back try, good. Jester Song, Abuelo Paps, Irish Warlock, they certainly can match up with this group of state-bred allowance runners, so I would not leave a Bandcamp out of it.
Absolutely not, and you leave the number 2, Boss Man JJ, underneath Tim Salzman, Martina Rojas. Anything to add out of that one last time out?
I just thought he kept trying. A willing effort, bet down a little bit, ease back. You see the comment. Field got away from on that sloppy sealed surface, was able to regroup and churn on that last 1/8 of a mile. So if anybody's going to make that move from just off the pace, if it's not Mine Run, Boss Man JJ Bandcamp as well to close into it. It's a good little race. I mean, maybe Mine Run, it's a tell. Now this horse is back, right? You go back on his page. He beats horses like Sheriff Ronnie, who's like a 5-time winner. What was the other one? Porch Swing, a 4-time winner. Now they've run some good numbers. Maybe they figured him out, and he's just going to dominate. But I think one-way traffic is going to make him work. These other horses have a shot. Even Hit the Road Jack's an interesting horse coming back off the break, or second off the claim with the Lasix.
Let's talk in race number 9, our finale here today. In a starter optional 30,000, a mile on the dirt for the fillies, 3 and up. Scratching the 4, Hazardous Humor. Scratching the 6, Salty Girl. You have the number 5 on top, Always Laughing. Let's take a look back at that effort in that last win back on the 30th of March for Kieran McGee.
Yeah, assumed lead, correct. Was able to kind of get to the front. Did not quite see her making the lead this easily, and also getting a chance to get away with 24 and 4, 50 and 1. So just kind of nursed along with Lopez. They make the challenge. Patty Cakes is a horse that was in pretty good form. Going to go up at 7-5, make that challenge. She says, nah, I'm going to dispose of you. She opens up, holds on very late over She's a Rolling Stone, who came back to run a good number of 75 and the optional 2 other than. So she's in good form now. I don't know if she'll be right to the front against this group. Some of these other speeds did scratch. Salty Girl, Hazardous Humor. She's not going to be too far off of them. Maybe Ginger Girl tries to go on the attack just inside of her. But Always Laughing, she doesn't mind a target either way. An awfully short price to end the card. Isabella's Glory, we got to talk about the Jose Corrales barn. We haven't touched upon that. How about this stat over the last 45 days? 13 for 48, 27% ROI, close to $4. This one bouncing back into shape, third off of a little bit of a break, should bring a run, but definitely did not want to see a couple of these horses scratch out of here, the speed types.
Well, there we have it. 5-1, 3-2 for Keith Fusel there for our finale here for Friday. Keith, let's talk about your value play here, which is going to be in race number 7 and the number 9. 12-1 on the morning line. We can both kind of see that coming down for Mexican Sugar with Ed Coletti. Alicia Ruiz comes down to ride.
Yeah, second time in the barn, a little improvement last time, and a lot of grit there. Had some trouble. Quarter pole, 8th pole, finished up. Very, very live rider. Alicia Ruiz winner after winner, it seems, when I watch the simulcasting there from Park. So I think this one laying in there, maybe we can get around 8-1, 7-8-1 on this one, make a run from just off of it.
Here, knock on wood, here's hoping. Keith, let's also talk about some others who are really benefiting. Of course, so 5 players, we can come back to us, guys. 5 players remain alive for the $5 million first Grand 3, that Pick'em Challenge, after successfully selecting the first 4 finishers in exact order for Preakness 149. So basically, there are 50 players on the leaderboard. You essentially go from first. I'm taking a look at mine right now. There are over at least a dozen. Basically, it goes in tiers. It's tiers of tying for first, tying for 6th, and tying for 30 seconds. So goes by a point system. There are 5 of them right now: Charles B, George E, Modica L, Ramiro P, and Barb P, who are on that. They just need to get the selections for they can win up to $5 million by getting those top 4 finishers in at the California Chrome on September 28th at Santa Anita, and the $3 million Pegasus World Cup at Gulfstream Park on January of 2025.
Good deal.
Yeah, very nice.
All right.
So there we have it. We will return to you guys tomorrow, and we will go to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches.
All right, good luck.